All right. This is one of my favorite tracks too. Let's see. Let's get switched over. What? There it is. Okay. It should be all like nice and smooth now, and a nice crispy 60 frames a second. You can let me know if it looks any better. But anyway, here we are. Blaze, what's going on? I actually, you know what? Now I feel dumb. I actually meant to reach out to you today and see if you wanted to hop on the stream with me. But now that I've started, I don't know how I'd slip you in here. Oh well, you'll just have to hang out and chat. It's me. Woo. All right. So here's a plan. What I would like to do. Actually, hang on. Let me double check Twitch here. Make sure. Uh-oh. We're airing out on Twitch again. Oh, no. Oh, I know. This might be why, but I can't change it. This Twitch is just assed out. Reuse. Why is Twitch always such a problem child? I do look crispy? Good. Well, maybe. That could be bad. Depending on how you mean crispy. Changed a bunch of OBS settings. But I don't... Looks like nothing's going to Twitch again. Oh well, I kinda don't care. Because I really dislike Twitch. No squirrel. Yeah, I'm saying I'm just seeing a black screen. Well... I don't know why Twitch is always such a problem child. Let me... I'm using a different protocol for YouTube. Instead of the regular RTMP, it's like HSL or something. And it sounds like it's working for y'all. I'm looking crispy. Twitch is managed by bigger morons. I believe it. Like, they're, I think what gets me the most about Twitch is just their wildly inconsistent rulings on things. It's so bad. We got reuse the streaming encoder. Reuse quick sync. But I can understand why that hung up. So does Twitch not have a HSL thingy or whatever it is? What is that called? HLS. Okay. That's the higher quality one. Well, Blaze, I don't know how to get you in here since I'm all set up without undoing everything, so... You'll just have to hang out in the chat today and give me ideas there. So, Twitch aside, no live on Twitch, or well, maybe I'll try. I'll at least have it live. So if people want to come in the chat and say, hey, where you're at, I'll just say, well, I'm on YouTube. And then I'll get banned from Twitch. Because you're not supposed to tell people to go to another platform. It's not my fault your platform won't take the stream. You're trapped here with me. Yeah, so this is what we're gonna do. So, y'all, whether you're being nice or not, I don't know. But I'm sure y'all have noticed by now that I tend not to get my maps done in a very timely manner. When I'm trying to make some, because I try and make it too complicated. I get too involved, and then the one shot gets too complicated. Like, I really like the caravan one shot we did. That ended up being a very cool. That was a good one shot to air quotes play for real. Like, that was I thought a good session. It's not just testing. It's like, no, here is an event, a situation, like a little story being told in 2 to 3 hours. The Twice Dead Swamp is probably going to be the same way. It'll be more of a dungeon crawly thing, but this is supposed to be for testing, not actual play. So I just went to Dungeon, which is the name of the tool, and generated a random map. This is what we got. I've used these before a long time ago for little one-shots, and it's like, they're pretty cool. But as you can see, it's empty. So I was writing down some ideas, and we're just gonna try and fill this dungeon up. It's just supposed to be a simple little dungeon crawl using moss and stone mechanics. Now, excuse me, bonus points if the traps and creatures and everything are moss and stone themed, but you know, if we want to put a gelatinous cube in here, we can. Except I think I have a sap cube, which is basically just a gelatinous cube. So, you know, same thing. Being there too. Yeah, Kraken, I don't know why Twitch. Well, I kind of know why Twitch isn't taking it. Maybe. Honestly, no, I don't know. I upped all my quality for YouTube, and I guess Twitch couldn't handle it. So, I don't know what's going on there. I'm just gonna leave it live. So, since I posted it, that I would be there. So if people come in, I can break Twitch terms of service and tell them to go to YouTube. So until I figure it out. If I hit OK while will that even change anything? I don't know. Y'all can let me know if anything happens. Anyway, let's see. There's a lot of chat flying in here. No circular rooms? No, that would probably be hard for the randomizer to do that and connect them. I will say though, they did. I noticed there was a new option on this dungeon tool. You can randomly fill the rooms. It doesn't always make a lot of sense, but it can be kind of fun to try and make sense of it, I guess. As a matter of fact, I think I have one still open. Yeah, here, I can show you. This is when I turned on the option to fill rooms, or it's Furnished Dungeon is the name of the option, so we're gonna have to make that way bigger. You see, it just puts like random stuff in there. Like, oh, here's a room full of crystals. Here's bones, I guess, and some tree roots. Like, here's a sticky hallway. Like, you know, it's still pretty cool. It's a free tool. You can just get it on there and use. So I ain't complaining. Like, here's a little goblin hideout or something. So, anyway, catching up on chat. Let's see. Got cool news, says Mr. Blaze. I got an email from the place I want to work at, and they said that it is looking good. Woo! He will get a confirmation with his higher-ups tomorrow and send me a contract afterwards. Nice. That's bigly news. A dungeon. An epic tale. Oh. Yeah, no, that's super cool, Blaze. I am glad. You got stone in your dungeon, but you're missing moss. Yeah, we can put some moss in there. Moss and stone's code for weed and smoke. A jelly cube. Peanut butter. A peanut butter cube. Hey, there's Dave. You at work, Dave? Are you hanging out? What's going on? You just had some peanut butter and jelly? That's the emergency food. You know, a good peanut butter sandwich with some jelly is hard to beat sometimes. You ever have peanut butter and honey? Or peanut butter and chocolate? Summon the deliciousness in one's taste buds. Alright, so I'm pretty sure. Nope, you're not at work. Nope, you're not hanging out. Oh, I have DMs. You got the day off. Alright, well, we'll see. We got Blaze a new job. Let's see if we can get Dave a new one. He almost made it at Foundry, the virtual tabletop. That was pretty exciting. Anyway, I know I want this to be... Boy, that's getting loud. At least in my ears. Creatures and things is purple. It doesn't have to be consistent. I know this is going to be the BBEG. So we'll just put that there. Matter of fact, can we... make that a little more bigly? BBEG, mostly because it's like the only good battle room, I guess, other than this one, but you kind of have to get through it. It's off to the side, so that it looks like a good boss room. I will say we need... what colors? I'm going to put a door there. That's a door. And it'll be locked by something. Peanut butter and chocolate before. That's not how you spell chocolate. Chocolate. That's German chocolate. But no peanut butter and honey. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Swords and Stone's home is his workplace. A Reese sandwich? A Reese burger. So, I've heard that peanut butter on hamburgers is a thing, and I think that's gross. Peanut butter and egg on a hamburger is also a thing, and that is also gross. People are weird. Oh, you got it, Dave? You started a week, Monday through Friday. That's the sales one, isn't it? Monday through Friday, 11 to 8. Hey, that's not too bad. Late start. Get off late, but you get a late start, so. But hey, Monday through Friday. Slash Sergeant in a blitzball condition. You getting hungry, Blaze? Hey, Blaze, if you get your everything finalizes with the job, you should celebrate with some popcorn. I know that's your go-to there. So you should get you a little bag of popcorn. Celebrate. Okay, that was the sales job. All right. Oh, that's cool. Man, everybody's getting jobs. When am I going to get a job? When am I getting a job? Ugh. I don't know if I know how to work anymore. I will say, though. I will say, since we're all here chatting, I'm going to talk with this lady, author person, who mentioned a service that she uses that she got started with and for editing and whatnot, because I've been having a lot of editor troubles. I went and checked it out, and the service sounds very good. Super cool. Very well priced. But I'm going to have a chat with this author lady about the experience and see how it went. And then I'm going to do the consultation with the service. And I guess if I get good vibes from everything, we're going to take another stab at this book that just can't seem to get off the ground. So, hey, maybe Kesho Knight Legends #2 will be well on the way. But I've also been working on the little short story for Moss and Stone, and it's I gotta say, it's pretty cool, man. It's pretty cool. I like it. I need to reach out to Sean Bova and get some artwork. Anyway, Beyond Final Fantasy has weird taste buds. I mean, hey, whatever floats your boat. Popcorn. Okay, so we got a BBEG room. And we could have, one thing I've done multiple times is, you have that last door with several locks on it. So that makes you explore the map. Maybe not necessarily hit every corner of the map, but give you a reason to explore things. Excuse me. So, I know I want, in this one, I want this right here. We're going to have this hallway. I'm thinking they walk in and there's some drips coming from the ceiling, like real sticky sap, and they're like, oh no. And when they get about halfway through the hallway, 2 gelatinous cubes or gelatinous saps on both ends, and then just slowly start coming in. Google says changing your stream resolution fixes it, says Glee. Well, that's the thing, Buckwheat. I can't. Because I have the resolution set to be nice and good, which Twice Dead said I was looking much better today. So, can Twitch not handle high resolution streams? Okay, so it's set, because I have this multi-stream thing in, it says using OBS settings, and my OBS settings are Also did some tweaking with the bitrate, so obviously you guys aren't lagging behind like you have been. There's no downscale filter. It's 60 FPS and it's 2560 by 1440. That's probably too much for Twitch because Twitch is lame. Twitch is codename for glitch. You know? Might be onto something. Why aren't I done yet? I don't know, mustache. But hey, since you're here, for our little road trip coming up, well, I guess I'll semi-dox ourselves here. I was talking to my dad, since he goes to Knoxville every now and then. It's like, where's some good places to stop? And he said it'd be a lot cheaper if we stopped right outside of Knoxville, because Knoxville's, you know, the busy part. But also because everything past Knoxville gets more and more and more expensive, because then you start getting into, like, you know, the fancy touristy parts. Gatlinburg or whatever is all over there, so we need to stop right before Knoxville. Summon the short story and attack your life's trials with the magical within. Yeah. What's the theme of the dungeon? Well, we don't really have one. The theme of the dungeon is get it done so we can actually play the game and test it. So, bonus points if there's actually a running theme, but it doesn't have to be. It's moss and stone, so we can say it's weird animal creatures and moss and trees in here. And Grimwood, I don't know if you caught what I was saying about the settings. It was, well, I say 2560 by 1440, 60 FPS. This friggin' guy. I'm waking you. Yeah, it's me. Haven't seen you around in a bit, Crabsoft. You jumped ship from Discord. Get about halfway through the hallway, then to set cubes drop. Classic. Also, we need a door right here. That's a door. And then I don't know what's going to be in there. Like, we got to put loot, treasure in here. So, you know, some whisper stones and sandwiches and weapons. Downvote and run. Gatling burger. Not quite, not quite. All right. So I assume this is where the map actually starts. It looks like it. What traps you got in mind? Puzzly ones or something? So, I'm trying to lean into not, oh, you stepped on a tile, it pops a trap, what do you do? Roll to not get hit. I want more, not complicated, but involved things. Like, there's a couple of things I wrote down. Like, there's mushrooms or some kind of plant that spews spore dust, and like that's super flammable. But instead of just putting the players in that situation instantly, like if somebody has a torch they're walking around, like I might have them get near that and it shoots off a little spore cloud, and it just kind of, you should just poof when it hits your torch, so that gives them the warning, oh, this is flammable. And then maybe they get in a hallway full of that stuff and everything, and they see a goblet coming around the corner with a fire arrow or something, you know, they're like, oh my god, you know, they know what they're getting into. So things like that, or like right here I got vines that might try and grab them. There'll be plenty of chances to avoid it and get out of the situation, but if they keep pushing forward, then it grabs them and tries to drag them, and if they get to that point, then they have to do the easy d6 insta-death miraculous save. It doesn't really have a name, but it's the miraculous save where even if you save, it takes you down to 1 HP. So I want to do more interesting things like that, or magnetic floor or wall or ceiling. That sounded fun. Just interesting, dangerous situations, not, I triggered the trap. I have to roll to dodge flying arrow out of the wall. Salmon pie, ew. Salmon pie. Is that what you're eating? That sounds terrible. I did finally get a haircut. I'm glad you noticed. You're watching me a little too closely. Spore Dust is a cool one. I'm using something similar in my Caprinop Muslin game. Muslin. I know what those things are, but I can never say it. I never know how it's pronounced. Game right now, enemies have red spores that can launch off their body and cause issues. Roll saves. Telegraphing traps. Exactly. Not just, like I said, step on a thing. Okay, roll to see if you take damage or not. That's boring. Now, if you have all the signs and then you know you're risking it, then it's different. Squishy tiles. Floor like it's starting to melt and tiles turn to quicksand. Ooh. Salmon pie is delicious. Okay, I don't even know what a salmon pie is. I guess before I badmouth it, I should. Salmon pie. Is it just salmon in bread? Is it a complicated salmon sandwich? It don't look right. Please step on this exact tile. It'd be funny if you had that and that tile was actually safe. Traps are just features that players don't understand yet. I guess you could look at it that way. I kind of like squishy tiles. So, step here. And then they don't. And then the sign flips around and says, I told you. That would be funny. Now, if you guys have any cool ideas for some monsters, you know, like the sap cube, we can do that too. Stay off grass. Grass is a safe zone. Yeah, buddy. Oh. Crab has a stream. Is it nice and crispy for you? Is it running at a nice, smooth 60 FPS? No more lagging? Glowing paint with arrows. Creatures living there marking stuff, but only they know which ones are real or not, so the first few seem to be accurate about traps. And then the next one, not so much. Oh, Blaze is cooking up monster ideas. Lawful good characters would be honor bound to stay off the grass. That's true. They got to. It was the wrong thing. But that is where it came from. Rock and stone. A leech hanging on this. Ooh, that room is large. The ceiling is a hole, and a bald bear is sleeping over the dungeon. Dust monsters from dust balls. That's also good. Wouldn't know 60 FPS if it gunned you in the street. Dang. Can't tell the difference between 30, 60, and 120. Post 120, I can't tell the difference. Probably like post 100, I can't tell the difference. A giant leech. I like that. But like, what happens after it falls? You know, just say it doesn't land on a player. Does it just slowly inch its way forward like the cube? There was a Kobold mod for Deep Rock. I missed that one. That would have been great. What about interesting... Oh, hey, there's the vending machine. Interactions between traps and monsters. So sap slime eating the flammable mushrooms causes... Hey, yeah, I'm down. Mix it up. Like if you ignore one, it works its way into the other. One of the better video game tracks. Good old King K. Rool. This was a hard one to play on the guitar. I could never get the beat right. Or the tempo, whatever. The human eye can't see over 32. I'm calling bull. Because I can definitely see the difference between 60 and 30. Undead snake skeleton roaming the halls. Pure trolling. Wasn't that a big thing that came out during when Xbox was first coming out or something? During the presentation, they're like, well, the human eye can't see between 60 and 30. Trying to justify their low performance or something. Undead snake skeleton roaming the halls. It uses its ribs like hundreds of legs. Ew. I did want to put a big old centipede in here somewhere, but a snake would be cool too. We should have some, we gotta have venom in here somewhere. Living floor, step on the wrong tile and the floor stands up and is basically a tile golem. Yeah, it is a good song, Blaze. A blue silent goblin that doesn't have a mouth. Eats emotions. The leech. It tries to get a hold of the player. The bear is sick, and that disease is bloodborne, but you can capture it to throw it at the enemy, like an ankle biter dude with rabies. The ankle biter dog with rabies. Tries to get a hold of the player. The bear is sick, and that disease is bloodborne, but you can capture it. What about... What about like little leeches, but they're on the ceiling for some weird reason and they're falling? It used to be a much for believed fun fact. I believe it. That was a while back though, man. See you later, swords and stones. Get back to work. The dungeon theme, Mr. Crabsoft, is get it done so we have something to play and do. That's about it. So if it gets a little mix mashed, it's fine. Would be nice if it was moss and stone themed, you know? Foresty, woodsy things. Ooh, leeches crawling up through the cracks. I mean, we could put like a little swamp bog in here somewhere they got to go through that's full of leeches, but and if I understood Twice Dead, I like the idea of like, oh, you have this sick creature that the leeches are feeding off of, and you can take the leeches and use them as weapons, like to throw at something because now they're infected. That would be interesting. It might be a little too complicated, but a fallen player character that is now a roaming zombie. They turn hollow tongue. A pool of poisonous water that causes a room to be very difficult to cross. However, if the PC set fire to the pool, the water becomes mundane. Creature made out of the discarded exoskeletons of different insects. Maybe that's the BBEG. Or maybe your bone snake is the BBEG. Because we do have a boss room over here. It's like there's the boss. Hello, camp. Another classic. Build a dungeon around a natural resource, some kind of magical site. Excuse me. That's like all natural clearing in this otherwise dredgy dungeon. That would be interesting. But see, that's a one shot that makes sense. I'm just trying to make something for testing. Your bone snake is the BB. Oh boy. Hi. I don't know if y'all can hear that. It's a cat. So I will say we should probably have What's our loot symbol? Ooh. Loot. Oh my gosh, cat. You're so annoying. Every time I say, and then I grab you, and you're like, no. I can't work like this. Yeah. Y'all want a cat? It's for free. You can have it. I'm gonna put you in the tree. Right. Someone plays Dark Souls. Time to open a bottle. Alright. Have a big gaping dragon in here. If y'all got any loot ideas, feel free to pass that on too. Trader NPC mining ore, one of the corners that is surviving off eating the leeches, giving the PCs a hint. Yeah. I'm also down for like having... We talked about putting some of these in the Twice Dead Swamp one-shot, just having some, whatchamacallit, like random NPCs that could be good or bad and trigger other things. Goblin Training Ground, somewhere easy to justify unit tactics and plunge. Ooh. Maybe have like another adventuring party right here in the middle of it. Disguise mustaches for loot. Gee, I wonder who suggested that one. Yeah, give them loot right here at the beginning and they'll be like, that can't, just no traps, no nothing, it's just right there. I kind of like the idea y'all had. Let's try this. Adventuring... That's not how you spell that. Adventuring party that has lost their minds. They're aggressive. And I was thinking we could do the vine thing here. The vine monster that like slowly... Because you do have to cross this. You'd have to deal with it. A bag of scrolls. There you have me drone on about it before, but designing factions and an inhabitant agnostic space is great for testing. I don't guess I have heard you drone on about it. Designing factions. A ghost squirrel that tries to help you, but the dungeon changed too much since he died. That Evans device is outdated. It's pretty good. See, the squirrel that I suggested, if you backed Ironbound when it was in its backer kit, you could make an NPC. And the squirrel, of course, I recommended, or my submission was a squirrel, but it tricks the players. There's always a reward, but the challenge is always more than you're presented with. You sneaky squirrel. Should be vines through the dungeon, and the vines grow thicker behind them after they go through an area. See if they notice or not. Ooh. Spider that ate a magic gem. It is now intelligent and can talk. It will act all friendly. Ooh, a sneaky spider. So let's do... big. Just big. Ooh, Spark Mandrill. Does this... The text does not get bigger or smaller. Okay. That's unfortunate. Big. Can't type. But stationary plant monster here with vines. Grab players and pull them inwards like a sarlacc pit. Pretty much. I'm gonna do this. Y'all like Spark Mandrill? One of the best tracks. I kind of like the spider. Can't play it with Peter though if you have a spider in here. You gotta remember that. A sword in the stone that is actually just a hammer. For your creative challenge forum, just post trap and treason. Nerds will flesh out the dungeon. Oh, speaking of, I'm glad you brought that up because I wanted to show off the one that was there, the most recent one. Where is it? The metallic root runner. So for those of you who don't know, you know, in the Discord server, when I keep up with it, I started a thing not too long ago where I'll give you a little bit of a prompt and it's up to you what you want to do with it. You can make an enemy out of it. You can make a, you know, if it inspires a whole dungeon, you can do that. If it inspires a meal that you want to cook, that's what you can do. It's just, hey, here's a creative prompt. Go make something. And the most recent one was metallic root runner. And by a root runner, for those of you who don't know, that's what I mean by root runner. It's the plants that the root goes out horizontally and boop, makes another thing grow. So metallic root runner. As a matter of fact, I believe this is the guy in the chat right now. Mr. Final Fantasy Man. I think this is the same people. So above are titanic trees, below is a city connected by root runners. The root runners being highways, the root runners, and inside the plants are futuristic, almost cyberpunkish mixed with nature. Elves live within them, city controlled by neon druids. Neon druids, man, like that. Oh man, that sounds pretty cool. Could be a pretty interesting setting. Also, I think I showed this off on a much older stream. Let's see. Electric and Fuzzy. This one had a super cool thing somebody submitted for Electric and Fuzzy. This was super cool. Then the lightning. That's awesome. I mean, the sketch is just super cool too, but yeah, that was, I thought that was you. Okay. A monster that can make cold fire for the players if you feed it, but you will be tough fight if you attack it. Carries torch with cold blue flame. Yeah, isn't it? Vending machine. This was super cool. That guy's a pretty cool dude too, just in general. Both the neon druids and the art. Yeah, man. Okay. So you have to deal with this guy. Well, I guess you don't. You could run past him. So going back to the spider, the tricky spider, how would that work? Does the spider have like a web somewhere and it's got a sword or something fancy you might want in it, and the spider's like, you can totally have it. I don't want to eat you. And then the players try and grab it and get stuck, and then the spider tries to eat him? Or... because I feel like that would be rewarding the players for being overly aggressive if they killed the spider first. Which, you know, hey, this is the way you want to go. How would... because, like, do you want to teach the party to be murder hobos, right? I guess you could have a mix in here, and like, you could have some other NPC somewhere else that if you don't kill them, you get something good. So then when you get to the spider, you're like, it's very clear trap. super do in our test dungeon. Okay. That's a good point. A room with a shiny item in the middle, but it is a trap room. Well, where's a good room for the spooter? I figure here, in this room, there'll be something here, and then very obvious 4 things pointed here. It's like, okay, yeah, you know if you grab that, those things are just gonna shoot you. So, like, it's not a surprise. It's just, hey, here's the thing. How do you deal with it? So, it just has 4 lovely little corners. Could do a thorn in the foot. A spider silk wall. A curtain filled with dead critters. Ooh, and 1 living skink mount. It's brutal. I had this bottomless hole in an intro adventure I used to run and 100% players. A mimic. Oh man. Is that Ollie? Oh. You can put the spider here. Like, you could just ignore the spider and just... Like, let's do this. You could. I'm fine with yellow. I don't know why I clicked that. Spooter here. All the webs. That way, if you know, you have the social interaction. Mimics rule, that's definitely Ollie. And then if you... Why does Microsoft Whiteboard not have an undo button? This program sucks. Anyway, you come in here and you're like, oh, hey, Mr. Spooter. And then Spooter's like, totally won't kill you. Hint, hint, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. And then you can be like, nope. And then just keep going. And the spider just hangs out because it's like, somebody else will come through here. Does a dungeon have levels? For example, that room on the top left can be a well that leads down. So, I would love to use an isometric map with level heights. I don't know how to make those. But I would love to. Something I need to get into. Because that'd be so cool. Mimics more of Grimwood's thing. He did throw a mimic at us once. Social interactions on the web? I don't think so, sir. Trying to think. We had... Yeah, I did a one-shot in my little system. Nuts. It was for... Who was it? It was Peter. Dave, were you there for the caveman one shot we played in Nuts a while back? It was offline. It was just, hey, let's hang out and have fun. I think we were all in the Avenue server, so either Jacob or Dan was there. But you guys were just playing as cavemen, and the BBEG was the first mimic, and there was actually some lore there about how the mimics came to be, and they started off as a plant that posed as other plants to trap prey, and then, you know, it evolved, and weird cavemen people were grinding it up and snorting it or whatever, and they became mimics, and that's how it all began. So all that to say, plant was the mimic. I could take that and just have a plant mimic in here. Twice in Plaguebound. That's all I remember is Plaguebound. A golden goose that lays golden eggs, but only if you can solve a riddle. The golden goose can breathe fire. I don't know that flies make flames come out of its wings. You have never played with Peter. I'm pretty sure you were in that one shot. Unless we played Cavemen more than once. Remember, Peter had the science guy. Caveman science. Alright, I'm gonna go find it. You just hold your whatever. Hold your horses. That is the wrong server. This is the right server. Assuming he hasn't deleted all those old. He might have. How do you search for old threads? This button right here. There are no threads. Oh, did he clear it out? Darn. I guess he did. Oh, that's a bummer. But no, I remember you getting the images and everything. It was caveman. Man-eating plant mimic sounds awesome. Goose idea too. You lied. Yeah, you did. It's like, I remember. He's like, for science, and push somebody through the weird portal. Really, all the threads are gone. He cleaned that up. Wow. He really cleaned out the server. Well, that's unfortunate. I am in the right one, right? Yeah, new studios. Oh well. Oh well. Grim was a spider on the web all along. Alright, so I like that. So let's say you're like, yeah man, cool. Give us the thing. Is it tucked away in one of these rooms? So let's say there's a spooder web here. That's totally what a spooder web looks like. Web. There you go. And there's very clearly a nice item. So does this guy come down here and... Or he's like, hey man, I caught something. It could be an adventurer, like a skeleton here. And there's just the sword left. And he's like, hey, got an item for you. I'll totally give it to you. I feel like he's got to ask for something. Because if the party comes in and he's just like, hey man, I'll totally give you a sword, party's gonna be like, that's bait. So if it's like, hey, if you do thing, I'll give you a sword, or give me thing, I'll give you this thing. But see, if you come in and he brings you down here, and then when you get in here, he can have you cornered. Ooh, lie about not being able to fit down the hall. Okay. A pendant that grants a wish, but upon granting a wish creates a copy of a PC that will come back later. Oh! Gonna be one. Okay, so he can ask them to retrieve something that's over here and be like, yeah, I can't quite squeeze down the hall. It's tight fit. Would you mind getting something for me? And then what? There's like older web down here and something's in there. He's like, yeah, it's in one of my webs. If you could get it. I made that and then I grew and now I can't fit back here anymore. Or I guess you could be gross. You could be like, I know I'm not gonna put it on stream in case my boy Peter's watching, but orb weaver spiders, they're pretty good size. They're pretty gnarly looking, but when they're about to lay their egg sac, they get really fat, and then when they lay the egg sac, they just deflate to nothing. So the spider could be like that and be like, yeah, you know, there's this thing over there that I need, but there's also this thing you can have too. But I'm about to lay an egg sack here, and I can't fit through the hall anymore. Can you go get it? And then they're like, sure, and they get on the web, and they get stuck, and it comes down here through the hallway. Like, gotcha, I can actually squeeze through there. Wild pitch here. The dungeon is an overgrown mimic. The early encounters are like wildlife's a fungus kind of thing, but the further you go in, the more you face insects and bacteria. I mean, you know what? You did remind me of something fairly important. So the planar crossroads that I join once a month. We are looking for a discussion topic, and we have toyed with the idea of running a game inside of a giant monster. Very Jubu, whatever his name was from Ocarina of Time. Something like that. So, you know. I'm just saying. I'm gonna see what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna grab your chat. I can't believe there is no undo button in this thing. I want to put that there. And that might be something we chat about over at Planar Crossroads. Grimwood from Twitch. Is Twitch still dead? I assume it is. What if it's a brother spiders and the first spider complains about his brother? Oh, I'm not talking to him. Ooh, twin spiders, twin sisters. Because that's more scary. Very Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. Yeah. So silly of me. I was reading my book and then came out here for a snack. Now I'm too full to fit back in. Would you mind going to get it for me? My delicious pretties. Something like that. My delectable little two-legged snacks. I mean, brave adventurers. Only works on YouTube. There's something happening over at Twitch. What's going on here? Hey, there's a golden duck. I had a question for you I thought of the other day. What was it? It was Bashcom related. You kept asking me Bashcom questions. Yeah, that's right. My question was, did you go and give it a nice glowing review on Amazon? That's the real question. Oh, I once said I'm not smart enough for Star Trek, but you have no problem talking about Star Wars. What did you mean by that? Well, if it's the conversation I'm thinking of, it's... I didn't watch it when I was little, when I was a kid, because there was too much going on. I wasn't absorbing it. It wasn't like it was too technical of a show. They were telling very good stories, but I wanted funny, silly little droids and spaceships going, you know, flying around. I was super turned off by the fact that the ships in Star Trek just sit there. Even though that's probably infinitely more realistic, they just sit there like two boats in the middle of the ocean. I was like, this is boring. I need movement and flashy things. Scrat has a thing for twin sisters. I mean, I didn't say it. You said it. You're on it. Yeah, there you go. Everybody go give it a glowing review. Man, I kind of like the twin sister spider thingy. Okay, so if we did that, this dungeon is not going fast, but whatever. If we did that, what would the thing be like? Go over there and make my sister apologize or whatever, and then you get caught in the middle and there's two spiders? Or we could go back with the one that's about to drop the egg sack, and when you kill it, all these little spiders come out. Don't hit it in the butt. Gotta bounce, but the spider should have them go in, block path with booty, and birth her children into the now closed off corner of the dungeon. Oh man, that's brutal. What the flipperoni? That's a good name. Is it mean to have cultists kidnap my party if they don't decide on a common goal and how they met? I mean, it sounds like a great way to start off an adventure. It's like we all started in a cult. Buffering super hard. Interesting. Oh yeah, it's It looks like it's starting to have some issues. That's interesting. It was nice and steady. Uh-oh. Are we losing internet? Dang it. Why is streaming so difficult? And then I never know whether it's actually me or if it's YouTube. My connection's fine. 260 down, 230 up. According to that, so. Oh yeah, and there's the error. You're not receiving enough video to maintain. Users will experience buffering. It looks like it just started too. So we were good for a whole hour and then something happened. Glee, did you start streaming like 3 different things at once? Well, if I do this... I only stream on 1080. That's what... that's supposed to be on YouTube. Buff twice? Yeah, no, I'm seeing it now. Like, it just started all of a sudden. My bit rate's like right here, and then it just flatlines for half a second. For some reason. Well, I just stopped Twitch to see if that would help. If you sacrifice to go to your closest IT support. Unfortunately, Blaze, I am the IT support around here, which is why it doesn't work. Let's see, I can't change that when I'm live. Interesting. Yeah, there's not much I can change while it's live. But yeah, it looks like it's dropping some frames. Isn't it supposed to be a chicken? Goat's pretty tasty. I don't know if you've had it, but... Excuse me. I can't do that. Inflation. Oh, man. Okay. Let's do this before I forget. I'll just... Spider tricks players. So if the spider's in the hallway, what kind of advantage does that give him? mean, players can't run away, so they have to fight him, but like... Ooh. What if y'all can buffer your way through this, what if Spider says, yeah, go do the thing. Players go through the hallway. One of them gets stuck on the web and they're like, I can't get off. And then they go back to tell the spider like, hey man, he's stuck in the web. And the spider's not there. And the spider like went through some holes in the wall or something and is heading towards the player in the caught in the web. That'd be interesting. Normies go for chicken, with the insiders know goats have the best results. Stream is good now. All right. I don't know why it's jumping all over the place. Like I set the bit rate here and it's trying to jump up past it for some reason. It was doing fine for an hour and then all of a sudden... Why is it so complicated? Anyway, that's the spooter. That'll be fun. I got a couple extra rooms here. Maybe a giant egg sack in one of them, and it's like you can choose to burn it ahead of time. We'll have a question there. Spider egg sack. Make it red because that's a question. I'll know to check it out later. That's a dead end. I mean, we can open it up and make it not a dead end, but according to the map. Maybe some prison cells here? Beyond Final Fitness. Okay. So technically, we have so far an encounter here, trap/encounter. One, and then one here, two. It's kind of an encounter, 3, and then 4, and then 5. I mean, that's pretty good. I don't know what to do here, because they come in, and then they have to go around, and then something here. Can the spider have a giant mustache somewhere? Ooh, if it's buffering a lot, but also if they come back, there's a web rock fall trap, so the passage gets partially blocked. After 18 years, I'm beginning to think this Final Fantasy wasn't really the final one. You might be onto something. There's more than that, though, technically, right? Because there was 1, 2, 3 on the Nintendo, and then 1, 2, 3 on the Super Nintendo, which were technically 4, 5, and 6, but there was Mystic Quest, which I don't think... Yeah. So it's so weird. So 1, 2, 3 in America on Nintendo, I think, or 1, 2, 3 in Japan. 3 in America is 6 in Japan. 4 in Japan is 2 in America. 5 never made it, until ROMs. But then there was like 1, 2, and 3 on the Game Boy, which were totally different, and I don't think they were actually Final Fantasy games, technically. America just maybe called them that. And then, even once you get past that, you have 10 that had 10, 2, and then 13 that had 13, 1, 2, and 3. That's stupid. I gotta get Sebi Webbs on the channel to talk about Final Fantasy. I wonder if I can convince him to come on and have a chat and get into that. I feel like we could have a good time. I don't know if he has time for small fries like me, though. An ancient computer that tells the future of things that may happen. I don't know if we can squeeze a computer in here. Perfect spot for sales. Yeah, you talking about down here? Oh, hey, speaking of Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy V at that. Because Clash at the Bridge and Gilgamesh was 5, right? Persian sales. All the webs actually have little mustaches in them. Just big spider web mustache. There needs to be... Okay, so remember this. We don't want people just like beelining to the BBG by accident and opening the door, so we gotta have that locked by a couple switches. So you could have a switch here. A switch down here. Let's do this. Switch. So you have a switch here. That gives them a reason to come down here. Switch here. Gives them a reason to go there. And then a switch here. So yeah, then they could completely ignore this lengthy hallway and all this if they wanted to. They wouldn't have to come down here. That's also a dead end. I think 3 switches is good. Final Fantasy games are strange. Yeah, boy. I mean, I didn't like the first 3. Or at least the first 2. I'm trying to remember what 3 was. Those ones where you just kind of made a party. They were too hard for little me. Little me. They're probably still too hard for me. But I really liked... It was 2 and 3 in America on the Super Nintendo, so 4 and 6. I super liked those ones. And then 7 came out, played it, and it was enjoyable. That's the thing, like, that's kind of why I want to have a chat with that Sebby Wiz guy. I think it'd be funny, because I think 7 was his first one, and that got him sucked into it. And that was true for a lot of people. 7 was a lot of people's introduction to Final Fantasy, and they're like, oh, it's the best Final Fantasy game. It's like, for me, it's... Yeah, I enjoyed it, but it was just another Final Fantasy game for me. Like, the ones before it were also fantastic. They were magnificent. 8, I didn't really get into. 9, I completely missed, unfortunately. Didn't have the means to play it, because I had 7 and 8 on the computer, and they didn't make 9 on the PC. And then 10... I really liked the story of 10, but I did not enjoy playing it. 11 was online, which I enjoyed 11. That's just stand-up in Evangelion. 12... Sebby Webbs is currently trying to play 12, and I think he's going to lose his mind. I played it when it was new, and I remember them trying to lean into what 11 was doing, but 11 was online, so it played very differently. But they tried to kind of replicate that, and I thought it was a neat idea. It didn't work very well. But I really liked the world that 12 was in, like the atmosphere and everything. But yeah, nothing about it impacted or stuck at all. with me. Like, I couldn't tell you any of those characters' names, whereas, like, I remember Cecil, or Cecil, however, I never really learned how to pronounce his name, from Final Fantasy 2 or 4, depending on where you're from. And his friend Kane, Tella the Wizard, you know, I remember all of them, and, you know, like, you Spoony Bard, that dialogue and all that good stuff. I am Doom itself, or whatever Tella says when he gets Meteor. Oh man, like, I remember what was happening in the events. Same for 6, you know, with Terra and Edgar and Sabin. Everybody remembers suplexing the train. Because it's just too glorious not to remember. 7, of course I remember 7. It was that was impactful for a couple reasons. Like, one, yes, it was a super cool story, and but it was also such a shift from the previous Final Fantasy. You know, it's all 3D blocks, right? It was very different. Even though I barely played 8, I still remember it significantly more than anything from 12. And 13, I remember being a colossal disappointment. It's like, it was a very okay game, but it was not Final Fantasy. And all I remember is the main character's name is Lightning, and she's just female Cloud. Like, that's it. Need to cook some chocobo wings. Chocobos taste like chicken with a little tang of horse. They might. I don't know. It's just, maybe they just taste like tough chicken. And there's some traps right here. So according to OBS, it looks like it's getting worse. Maybe. What's YouTube saying? YouTube is still screaming at me. Huh. I wonder why. I wonder why I was doing so good and then it wasn't. Very interesting. Well, yeah, see, like right there, my bitrate just doubled for some reason. Like, why did it do that? Like, it went way higher than when it's supposed to. I believe, unless I forgot to... No. There's the bitrate, video bitrate. And yeah, it just doubled that for some reason. For like half a second. I don't know. Well, guys, I think since it's having so much trouble, I might just wrap it up right there. I got some ideas to work with, and I need to get actually working on this and schedule a testing thing. I might have to get super outside my comfort zone and be a big brave boy and poke Peter's server or Dungeon Jam and be like, hey guys, anybody want to help? I really don't want to, but it's part of the process. So, what's today? Thursday? What do I got going on? Let's see. Where's my calendar? Ew. I actually have some work to do tomorrow. Because I'm supposed to be picking up editing jobs. And this startup group I'm working with. We're kind of going through a training / initiation phase where everybody's working for free, owner included, getting some clients together and all that. But I don't know which one's which. I have a meeting tomorrow and Saturday about the same time. One of those is one I already did, and one is starting a new project, so we shall see. We shall see. Yeah. And then Peter over at Tales from Elsewhere has a stream on Sunday. His 1K celebration stream at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. Well, I'm sorry, his 1K Discord members. Obviously, he's well past 1K on YouTube. Matter of fact, what is he at? I think he was just about to hit 9 last I saw. Tales from Elsewhere. 8.97. You enjoyed Final Fantasy 3? That's the thing, like, it was an okay game. It just was not Final Fantasy. It was fun to play and flashy, from what I remember anyway. I don't know, I might pick it up now and be like, it's awful. But it was so straight path. You were on rails the whole time until like the very end. And then it opened up into this huge map that you could go about and do whatever you wanted with the little hunt quests or whatever. But yeah, it was weird. So I'm going, golly, I don't know if I don't want to cut off a bunch of the stream like I accidentally did back in December when YouTube was having trouble. So do I stop YouTube while OBS keeps going? That way I can finish. Or do I stop OBS? I think I stop YouTube because I remember experimenting with that. And that's how I cut out the entire PBEG fight on the Animon game by accident, because I hit stop on OBS and then started it again immediately, and it just cut out that whole 20 minutes the stream was lagging.